Fatima tells Zach that she handled it. Karen ain't trying to see Zach go to jail. And Andy riding around in a new Bentley. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you with the new Sistas video. This is the season 4 trailer breakdown. And y'all, this trailer is giving. It is giving drama. It is giving contrast, a little bit of color. It is giving sex. It is giving these girls are really about to go through some real changes. We thought that they have gone through some things in these 3 seasons, but we have yet to see anything. They're about to take it up a notch. And I love in the background how the storm is brewing and you see the thunderstorms. Yeah, it's about to get real. But the teaser opens with Zach and Fatima, and they look like they're standing inside the duplex. I immediately, y'all, was thrown off by this because this is supposedly that next day. Fatima's wearing the same exact outfit that she beat Hayden's ass in in the season finale for season 3. So that lets us know that it wasn't too much time that has passed, but yet they didn't got walls and a floor up in this duplex already. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about, Tyler Perry. I need you to be a little bit more consistent with tracking this time. Like, we know that Zach is going to need to work on the house, but don't nobody put up no dang on floors, walls, lights, and appliances in the kitchen. If you see that in the background, within 12 hours. That is not how this happens. We didn't see no crew working there, the night before as Hayden was, rolling up on Zach and giving him all this damn smoke. So I'm going to need us to slow this down and really track time a little bit better, especially now that we're dealing with the pregnancy. Karen is pregnant. There's a certain amount of time that pregnancies take. I'm going to need us to start being a little bit more true to time and tracking time well, because ain't nobody got time for things to be happening at light year speed. Meanwhile, one season is only a week long. Okay? I'm sorry, y'all. That's my little qualms, but let me talk about what we actually see. So we see Fatima tell Zach that the less he knows, the better. And he's asking, what did you do? Again, they're standing in the duplex. Zach is working on getting this together. And I agree. Fatima don't tell him nothing about what happened. He already is stressed about this insider trading stuff. If he gets pulled up and gotta have a deposition or anything, he don't need to know nothing so that he can't incriminate himself and or incriminate you. That's what I'm talking about. Fatima's a real rider and she's a smart cookie. Keep him in the dark. All he needs to know is that it's handled. He need to go ahead and finish fixing up their house and handling whatever he got to handle. He got to worry about this house. He got to worry about this baby on the way. Everything else, leave it to Mama Fatima, because she got you. We see Andi question Fatima on if she had anything to do with what happened to Hayden. And of course, Fatima lies because plausible deniability. She cannot tell Zach, she cannot tell Andi what really happens, because if anything comes back and they got to go to court, they need to be able to lie and say the truth. And if they don't know, then that is actually their truth, and they did not incriminate themselves, they did not incriminate her and or perjure themselves. So shout out to you, Fatima. Hold it down. I don't know nothing. Power Book 2 reference. I don't know nothing. Yes, exactly. And I think that this comes about because somebody might find Hayden in the garage, because the garage doesn't actually have cameras, and we know that he got beat up in the garage of the law firm. And we know that they don't have cameras because back when when Jasmine and her homegirls were trying to beat the hell out of Andi, and Fatima had to pull out that Glock and get ready to pop off, it was said then that this part of the garage doesn't have cameras. They only have cameras for going in and out. Somebody probably found Hayden if he was beaten within an inch of his life and left in his car. Somebody probably found him. And that's how they found out so quickly that something happened to him. They probably rushed him off to the hospital. And now, of course, Andi is asking this. Andi, mind your business, girl. That has nothing to do with you. Go ahead, mind your business. It's all good. Don't ask too many questions. That's how you get yourself into some mess. Okay? That's how you get yourself into some mess. When Fatima walks in, we see her holding a flower vase, and then we also see flowers all throughout the law firm. And then when we get into Andi's office, there are flowers there as well. These are either from Robin or from Gary, and I'm so annoyed about it, y'all. Like, I'm so annoyed. We have to go through Robin and Gary bullcrap for another season, and I hate that for Andi. But anyway, back to Fatima and Zach and this whole Hayden situation, because we ain't even going to Andi right now. Then we also get to see Andi shows up at the duplex and tells Fatima and Zach that they both look guilty. And I think that it's very interesting that that's the dialogue that she uses, because Zach looks guilty because he know he did this insider trading thing, and Fatima looks guilty because she know that she arranged to have the hell beat out of Hayden. And so they both are very guilty for two very separate things. And her saying that is just kind of like, well, girl, we are, but we can't tell you what's actually going on. So go your ass home, please. Dang. And a little side note, y'all, I definitely think that we're going to see Andi in the Fatima and Zach spinoff. Just by seeing her at this duplex, I could totally see her popping up here or there. She probably won't have a huge role, but I could definitely see her popping up and kicking it with her or talking with her at some point in the Zatima spinoff. If you missed it and you don't know the tea on the Zatima spinoff, check out my Zatima video where I break it down and detail all of the characters that are also going to be making up their world with their character descriptions. The next scene, we see Danni at the airport, and then she's talking with this group of people, and then all of a sudden, this little light-skinned black man decides to run off. I don't know if he just stole something from one of these people or what. I'm actually excited to see something new in reference to Danni's storyline. I don't know if it's going to be some workplace drama, but okay, cool. And then similar with Sabrina, the following scene after that is her ducking off in the corner to take a phone call at the bank. Okay, let's give a little bit more zhush, a little bit je ne sais quoi to both of these characters and their stories, because they have been basically circling the same storylines for the last 3 seasons, and it's definitely time for some new blood. It's time for some new interesting stories to tell. Now, the following scene after that is Andi driving in her new Rolls Royce, and it looks like Karen's in the car with her, and they're about to get pulled over by the police. My first thought is, okay, Andi and Karen actually are going to make up and be cool. I'm a little bit nervous because Andi gives me very, very shifty friend, very, very inconsistent, so I'm not necessarily all on board with anybody putting all their friend eggs in Andi's basket right now until sis can gather herself. But for the sake of not having a bunch of drama and Karen not being stressed while she's pregnant, okay, cool. And maybe on this drive, Karen also reveals that she's pregnant. We have seen in previous seasons that, you know, they have a lot of intimate conversations, whether it's on the phone or in their cars with one another, so I could totally see this being a dial back to what they typically do in their friendship, and they kind of have a heart to heart in reference to that. Andi has a lot to tell her by way of like, yo, I was sleeping with Robin, and then Gary popped out talking about can he join in, and then Karen needs to be able to reveal that she's pregnant by Zach. Now, what the police gonna have to do with this is, woo, I don't know. All right, y'all. So the car actually came from Gary because we actually hear him say it in this extended trailer, and I hate this for Andi. Because ultimately, when we see her riding with Karen in the car, it's clear that she accepts it. So under what conditions do you accept this new Rolls Royce from this man, girl? I don't care what happened. I don't care how much money he have. I don't care if he gives you a fleet of goddamn cars, Andi. It is not worth it. It is not worth the shame and the embarrassment. It's not worth the disrespect. It's not worth the emotional drain, the mental strain. It's not worth any of this from Gary, and it's also not worth anything from that little light-skinned one that is doing all this extra freaky stuff and then teaming up with Gary on some goofy stuff. None of this is actually worth it. And at what point is Andi going to wake up and actually realize that? Because it's given never. It's given she's a lost cause. It's given we need to stop hoping and wishing for her to do better because she feels like she's never going to be able to, and she's just going to keep functioning like this. And girl, you can ride around in this dang on Rolls Royce all the hell that you want, but you're going to also keep learning these hard ass lessons that this is not going to be enough. As we can see, you get pulled over in this car. What? The car that Gary gave you. I would not be surprised if there was something in the trunk and he trying to get you hemmed up on some charges behind some bull crap. And then look, you back to season 1 drama of about to be disbarred because he didn't gifted you a car with some BS in it, tipped off the cops just so that he can get you back under his thumb. Girl, you're really stressing me out now, Andi, and I know my worth, honey. I deserve better than this. We like the sisters is basically like our friends. When they're going through some extra ridiculous bullcrap, it's kind of giving us stress. And at some point, we're gonna have to choose ourselves and be like, Andi, let the chips fall where they may, sis. Good luck and Godspeed, honey. There's no amount of money in the world. There's no amount of cute ass light skinned men in the world that's gonna have me circling the drain with these people. No, you're circling the drain, Andy, and you deserve better. And I tell you one thing, Karen better not go down with you. That's what I will say. Now, before this season actually ends, we get the other scene that we have already seen in previous previews with Karen outside of the duplex talking to Zach, telling him that she do not want her child to have a father that's in prison, which again just tells us that the insider trading issue is not going to end with Hayden and his disappearance, because I definitely think that Hayden has been kidnapped, and well, at least that's what I'm hoping for, y'all. My fingers is crossed. Somebody else found out, somebody else is pressing the issue, or Hayden has put it out there already before, Fatima could actually get to him, and now it's gotten back to her. That could have also been what Sabrina was doing, calling Karen to tell her about it, to warn her about it, and that brings her over here. In the extended trailer, we see the federal agent approaches Karen at the salon about Zach, and that is what sends her looking for him, and she finds him at the duplex. I wouldn't be surprised if she calls him, and now he's actually answering the phone, because what? He the baby daddy, so he gotta answer the phone. And he tells her like, yo, I'm at the house, and then that's how she get there. A lot of y'all were very perturbed about the fact that she was at the duplex and how did she find out his address, and I'm like, he probably told her. See? So Sabrina had to be on the phone with somebody else or talking about somebody else, because Karen actually gets this information from the federal agent. If you aren't already, follow me on your favorite social media site at ericavane.com, because I am posting about Sistas as well as other amazing television and films that you should definitely be into. I am live tweeting during the show, so we can keep the conversation going there as well. What are some of y'all's predictions for season 4, or specifically episode 1? I am excited to see Zach and Karen get to a good place where they can actually communicate, and it's not even about, do you love me? Do you not love me? Do you want to be with me? Do you not? I think that is done. Now the baby news is out. They're going to be moving forward, figuring out what co-parenting looks like, and I'm excited for that. I really am interested to see how Preston responds to seeing El Fuego walk out of Danny's apartment, and what they're going to actually do, because I honestly feel like that is going to be the point that they really need to make a decision. She's jealous of Alice, he's jealous of whoever's going to be with Danny, and they need to decide if they're going to be together or they're not, and I can't wait to see that. I've seen the little clips of Sabrina and Calvin, and I have to go and find it because I want to do a video talk about their relationship. I'm not necessarily excited to see them, but it seems like they're going to keep it moving and try to continue to engage with each other, so okay. I found the clip of Sabrina and Calvin when they go on a date and are interrupted by this nice dark-skinned fella that seems sweet. He's definitely sweet on Sabrina, but Sabrina kind of just seems like she's being nice, and Calvin is completely uncomfortable. But sir, you had Peggy, so mind your business and eat your potatoes until dude walks away. We ain't doing Calvin jealous in season 4. We're just not gonna do it. Now, after all the hell that you to put Sabrina through, you just better be glad that you got a seat at this table and you are able to enjoy her company. Anything other than that, we don't want to hear it. Okay? We don't want to hear it. And honestly, I am now really intrigued to see what Andi is actually going to do. She has walked away from Gary and walked into the arms of Robin, which only brought her right back to Gary's doorstep. And now we need to see what the fallout will be from that. All right, y'all, as promised, here is my quick little preview into some of the BTS that was placed into this behind the scenes trailer. I snapped it off of Crystal Renee's Instagram earlier today. And I thought it was a really cool little quick video that really gave us a vibe and the energy of what happens on set as they are filming. They shot this while they were filming season 4, and I want to like circle in on a few little key things that I think are going to give away what happens with the story. So we get a moment where we see Fatima smashing Hayden's car window. So Hayden will be throughout season 4, and we are going to see her still going on this rampage with him. He has not gotten a hit, even with getting his beat down. We also get to see the actor who plays Hayden. He's standing with the actors who play Fatima and Andi, and he actually has crutches. We get a little quick moment of that when they're shooting what looks like in a garage scene. So we know that he's going to actually confront Fatima at some point while he's on these crutches, so he's not kidnapped how I would have kind of have hoped. Honestly, in seeing this behind the scenes, it makes me kind of nervous because it feels like a lot of this season is going to take place in a very short amount of time. Like it's probably only going to be the span of like 3 days, because in this behind the scene footage we don't really see many outfit changes. Andi is wearing the same thing that we know that she's going to be wearing in the first episode, that she's wearing when they say, oh, this is a wrap for season 4. Fatima's wearing the same thing, even though she throws a trench coat on it when she goes to beat the hell out of Hayden's car. We get to see a moment where Aaron is before they start filming, he's in Karen's apartment, so we know that Aaron is, even though he's not in the trailer at all, he is going to still be around and they are going to be pursuing their relationship. We get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of the clip that we saw in the trailer with, Karen telling Zach she don't want her baby father to be in prison. I really thought that this little behind the scene clip was really, really cool. And those are a few of the things that I took away from the story that we're going to see. Clearly, Robin isn't going anywhere because we see the actress that plays Andi as well as the actor that plays Robin dancing in this like behind the scenes. And the behind the scenes, it looks like it's at Andi's house. So there probably is a scene where they're shooting in her living room, and we haven't really seen Robin at Andi's house before, so that would be interesting and new. So clearly she ain't giving it up with these guys. She's still going to be in this back and forth with them. So yeah, that's my quick mention of the behind the scenes video as well. So that is everything that we know as of right now, preparing for season 4 of Sistas. Y'all, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications so that you don't miss any new information as it comes about, because you know your good sis E got you. Happy holidays, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.